My name is Jason Davis, and you are listening to Empower Volusia Common Sense. We are coming to you from a hidden location in the upper highlands of West Volusia County, guarded in an iron bunker, by the way. Yes, and we are guarded by 2 rabid Pomeranians and 1 crazy cat. You can listen to us now on YouTube and iTunes, and we're on Facebook. But wait, there's more. We are now an official website at jasondavispodcast.com. That's right, jasondavispodcast.com. If you're not listening to us on that, go ahead and check out the website. And there's a contact me, and there's history, who I am, so to speak, and a little history of what we've done already. We've got our archives in there, so you're more than welcome to go listen to them and check them out. And everybody, will be just so happy that you did that. I mean, you might actually enjoy some of the podcasts we've done. So anyways, what do we do here? Well, we talk about government, and so here they go again. That's right, the talking heads are again on the subject of poo-poo. That's right, poo-poo. Yeah, I said it. It's not a bad word yet. It actually amazes me how so many can speak of a subject and really do not have the facts straight. So it's up to us, the individuals like you and I, to research the issue and let the world know that the groupthink is not, and I will say that again, not what the reality of the situation is. There's been some renewed discussions about the need for a sewer system in Volusia County, and as well as making you hook up to an existing one. That is, if you're within a certain distance of an existing sewer line.
There you go again.
That's right. There they go again. And as a matter of fact, you got a little bit of a pause there. We'll have to work on the system here a little bit somewhere, I guess. But as a matter of the facts, the Volusia County government wanted you, the voters of the greatest county in the entire state of Florida, that is my own personal opinion, of course, to vote in favor of some half-baked money-grabbing scheme called the half-cent sales tax for good roads and better water. They wanted you to do this so badly. They really did. They wanted you there so badly that we had to have a special election for it. That's right. We had a special election just to vote whether or not we wanted to tax ourselves. Well, in the presentation, the current sitting county chair waved a piece of paper around, and he kept stating that that this tax was needed, and it's right here, kept pointing to that piece of paper. Well, no one was allowed to see that infamous paper that was being waved around. And, of course, the referendum failed, and, well, you know what? The rest is history, that is.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
That's right. And after the failure, the county management, I feel, they were in such a turmoil. It didn't pass. It didn't pass. Oh, no. What do we do? What do we do? We can't get any more money from you. So I don't know who came up with this or who came up with the fix for it, but I'm sure it was one of our illustrious county council members who in the past may have been a city commissioner and found a recourse, an increase in property taxes to cover the cost. So now we have the last of the budget hearings coming up in a week or so. Because, I forgot to tell you, today is the 23rd of September. Let's see, yes, we've only got a week or so, and they'll have another budget hearing where they basically, let me tell you how these budget hearings go. The person in charge of the finance department will get up there and say, we are, here is this, and it's an increase of 4.8%. And it's going to be this millage rate now. And then they sit back, and then they just stand there and wait for somebody to say, motion to approve, okay, approve, discussion, okay. And we go through. It's a very mind-boggling, monotonous thing. I've been there, done that. I was the Volusia County chair, and for 4 years, I dreaded the last meeting of September. It was tax time, and I hated it. I don't like taxes. But anyways, they called it a slight tax increase, 4.8%, which is actually the current increase in property values. I actually call it a punishment on the citizens for not passing their half-cent sales tax. So they allocated it on our property. Yes, higher taxes. So that's how they rectified the problem of losing on the sales tax. So now we can have better roads. That's a joke. And better water. And there's the punchline to the joke. Yeah, it wasn't very funny, was it? No. Let me explain. The Department of Roads and Bridges, they have a listing of all the roads in need of repair and the dates they will begin the work on them. This is repairing potholes, cracks in the pavement, and such like this, sidewalks and things like this. This is not building new roads. There's no need to build new roads. We have over 12,000 miles of roads. It's about repair. And that is not anywhere near the $1 million plus per mile cost of building a new road. It's nothing. Asphalt on the ground, concrete on the cracks. Cheap. And as far as the water situation, all of our drinking water comes from the aquifer. Everybody's. Some go to a big tower and they treat it with all kinds of chemicals and pollutants to, as is being found out now, make you ill. And the rest of us have deep wells. And I've discussed that in a previous podcast, especially the one about the storms. So the failed tax vote was about wastewater treatment plants, not fresh water. And this is so you could be charged $12,000 to $15,000 for you to hook up to a sewer system. That's exactly right. That it was all about. And how do I know this? Well, as I've said, I was there. I was there in these preliminary meetings years ago. So I have first-hand experience. What? You say you cannot pay that bill? The $12,000, $15,000? Well, trust me. Even back then, there is a plan in place for that. They will be nice, and ever so nice, to assess that to your tax bill. And you can make annual payments on your property taxes. Oh, geez, how nice of them to do that just for you. And if you sell your property before that bill is paid off, the next person that comes in, it will be assessed on their property value, and they will have to pay that off for you. So that was very nice of them, but, not really. For you see, my dear friends and neighbors, it's all just a big money grab. And to be honest, it's more dangerous to the environment to have a CO2 belching, overpriced, inefficient wastewater treatment plant than to have a properly maintained septic system. What? Septic tanks are better than a sewer system? Well, here it is, folks. The truth they do not want you to hear. Listen up, all you environmentalists, because this may contradict all that you may have heard. And, of course, you probably will not believe this.
You can't handle the truth!
But you have to be able to. And here we go. All this information I'm about to give to you comes from a very simple Google search. Very simple. First, I will explain to you the process of a treatment plant that will attempt to handle anywhere from 20 to maybe 50,000 homes, which is about 500,000 individuals if you include businesses and patrons for those businesses. Okay? So first things first, sewer plants are made of concrete. And you may not know this, but concrete expels a tremendous amount of CO2 and other greenhouse gases when it's hardening and curing. Bet you didn't know that. As a matter of fact, MIT just developed a form of concrete that doesn't emit CO2. You could check that out. Just so I would let you know, the several tons of concrete needed to build this facility, yeah, you might want to look into that too, because they're all concrete. So our source for the septic system, or the sewer system, we'll call it a sewer system. Our source is W3. It's on the third World Wide Web. I bet you didn't know there were 5 of them. So it's on www.3.epa.gov, and there's a slash NPDES /pubs/BASTRE.pdf. It's a PDF form. But if you type in how does a sewer plant work, it'll come right up. And this is from the Department of Environmental Protection. And of course, our government would never lie to us. Yeah, right. So here we go. This talks about the primary treatment. As sewage enters a plant for treatment, it flows through a screen which removes large floating objects such as rags, sticks that might clog pipes or drainage equipment. After the sewage has been screened, it passes into a grit chamber where cinders, sand, and small stones settle to the bottom. The grit chamber is particularly important in communities with combined sewer systems where sand and gravel may wash into sewers, along with the stormwater. After screening is complete and the grit has been removed, sewage still contains organic and inorganic matter, along with other suspended solids. These solids are minute particles that can be removed from sewage in sedimentation tanks. In other words, the sewer goes into this big, huge tank. It's opened. There's no top on it. And everything just kind of sits there and settles and calms down, and the heavy things fall to the bottom. Some things are heavier than others, so it just takes a little bit of time for a candy wrapper to float to the bottom versus, I don't know, a little pebble or sand. Anyways, continuing. Biosolids are usually removed from tanks by pumping. I want you to remember that. After which it will be further treated for use as fertilizer and disposed of in a landfill or incinerated. That's how they get rid of the sludge, as they call it. Secondary treatment, the secondary stage of treatment, removes about 85% of the organic matter in sewage by making use of, now here, big point, of the bacteria in it. 85% of the organic matter in sewage is removed by making use of the bacteria in it. The principal secondary treatment techniques used in secondary treatment are the trickling filter and the activated sludge process. After effluent, which is you might call it gray water. After the effluent leaves the sedimentation tank in the primary stage, it flows or is pumped into a facility using one of the other of these processes. A trickling filter is simply a bed of stones from 3 to 6 feet deep through which sewage passes. Remember that too. So that is how the sewage treatment plant works. In a nutshell, the sewage comes in, it's pumped in. You don't live on a mountain, so it has to go through these lift stations to get pumped to this facility. It goes through a screen to take all the big chunky stuff out, the inorganic and organic large pieces, twigs, sticks, plastics, things like of this nature. Then it goes into a big, huge vat where it settles and all the heavier things go through, and then it goes to biosolids. The stuff on the bottom is removed, and then it goes to the secondary treatment, which is 85% of the organic matter in sewage is destroyed by the use of bacteria in it. Okay, and then it's moved from there to this big, huge area where the water is poured on the ground over a bed of 6 foot thick rocks, little pebbles and stones and limestone things, and the water percolates down through that into the water aquifer. That's basically the framework for the process of sewage disposal. I knew this. I just wanted it in writing, and I wanted it from the EPA. So now let's look at a septic tank system. Okay, now this information comes from from www.familyhandyman.com, plumbing how a septic tank works. Once again, type in how does a septic tank work, and you'll get the Family Handyman. Very good diagrams, nice little website. This is actually a 9-stage process. Yes, all wastewater flows to the septic tank. That's step 1. In other words, you flush the toilet, you put the sink in. Now, you don't have to worry about sticks and rocks and sand and things like this, because this is a closed system. Very important there, too. It goes from the toilet and the sink all the way down to the septic tank. The watery waste called effluent fills most of the tank. anaerobic bacteria begin breaking down the organic material in the effluent. Everything that you really put down in a toilet, except unless you got a 5-year-old that drops a Lego in there. But everything that goes through the sink and the toilet is organic. It is. And, unless you have some really weird thing going on. All right. So anyways, where were we? Now step 3, a layer of sludge falls to the bottom. Sludge is composed of inorganic solids and the byproducts of a bacterial digestion. Because there's bacteria in there. You can buy it at the store. You pour it in there once a month and you're good. A layer of scum floats on the top. Scum is primarily composed of fats, greases, and oils, but that does eventually break down. The septic tank acts like a settling pond. Greases and oils float to the top, heavier solids sink to the bottom. A filter prevents most solids from entering the outlet pipe, and this is actually called a baffle, not a filter. It's a baffle, and it's made of concrete in a septic tank, and a level comes up high, and then there's another level that goes from the top down a little lower. So it kind of creates a dam, shall we say. A filter prevents solids from entering the outlet pipe, blah, blah. Affluent flows. Now, we're talking 1,000 gallons of water here, folks, or solids or whatever. It takes a while to fill that up. And it doesn't flow every day, all day long. It flows when the water level gets to a certain level over the opening for the exit. And then the effluent flows into the drain field. The septic drain field provides a large area where bacteria can thrive and treated water can seep into the ground. Instead of pouring it on the ground, it's already in the ground. And there's rock and pebbles and piping with little bitty holes in it. And it says here, holes in the drain septic field pipe allow effluent to seep into the surrounding ground. And most of them are wrapped with like a cloth kind of material for filtration. So, what you now have is gray water. We're back to the gray water. Gravel around the pipes allow water to flow into the soil and oxygen to reach the bacteria. The anaerobic bacteria in gravel and soil complete decomposition of the waste. Completes the decomposition of the waste. Step 9. Clean water seeps down into the underground and aquifer. All right. So now, and to keep your septic system working at optimal efficiency, you should have it pumped out periodically. That is my note. But wait, 1 minute. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the process for a septic tank is almost the same as the sewer treatment plant. One difference is that a 2,000 gallon tank system can handle a household quite adequately. That's right. But now if you look at the dispersion of the effluent over a very large area, about 1,200 square miles, we'll say, the intrusion of the affluent is much less than if you're dumping it several thousand gallons at a time in one big spot and a hole in the ground with rocks on it. That water goes down. It doesn't go very far. I mean, gravity is dragging it down, and it's filtering down, and it's in one big spot. So, as you see it, or as I see it, as I was, this is not, and I will say again, not about the environment like they're saying. We're talking about a bunch of little systems that are spreading this affluent out all over the county and all over the state and all over the country, or are we going to put it all into one big, huge pile and just keep pouring it in the same spot day after day after day? And we're talking, it's $12,000 to hook up, triple cost of water. Yeah, this is very simply a money maker, a mandatory money maker. Yeah. $12,000 just to hook up to their system. And by the way, they charge you triple the cost of water. When you get a gallon in, you're taking you're paying for 3 gallons out. Well, it's heavier water. It's got things in it. It has to be maintained. Yes, I understand that. And yeah, that's in addition to the water. So for today, if you're paying $25 for water, you get a system, you're going to pay $100 a month for water and sewer. Isn't that, I don't know. Seems like a big money grab to me. Yeah, I know I played that a little bit earlier, but you know what? I just thought it was very fitting here at this time. So now you heard the joke and the punchline. Not very funny if you ask me. Nope. Actually, the joke is being played on us, the citizens of Volusia County. Maybe it's time to wake up, folks. Maybe, just maybe. Maybe it's time for us to have the last laugh. Maybe it is time to really clean up our house and put someone in the positions to make Volusia County the tax-reducing county government that we all dream about. No more yes men. No more bleeding. No more bending to the whims and wishes of the outside influencers. So, how do you do this? I'm only one person, you may say. Whoa, let's get that. That's something crazy. I didn't mean that there, folks. Sorry about that. Yeah, so how do you do this? You're only one person, right? So here's how. See, first I identify a problem, and then we come up with how to fix it. So here's your solution. First things first, educate yourself on local politicians. Go to these debates and handshaking events, rubber chicken dinners, and all the fundraisers you can go to. Get in front of them and ask them the important questions, the ones that are important to you and your neighbors. Not to me, because up here in the old iron bunker, folks, our issues are a lot different than they are in Daytona Beach. That's true. Then you get them to commit to you and everyone in your district to lower taxes, stop supporting corporate welfare, stop being basically the puppet of the county manager and the media. You also have to do work too, folks, yeah, because we have to hold their feet to the fire. No more this is, it's just another council meeting, blah, blah, blah. You got to stop that. You got to hold their feet to the fire and remind them and every other elected official from a city council member all the way up to the president. You work for us. We hired you. It's time for them to start doing their job and start using a little common sense.